Now we have the same thing as our project timeline that we saw in the previous video, which was this section right here. We have exactly the same thing in our financial feasibility application. So we have this project schedule that you've got to understand how it works and be able to ascertain how your project's going to unfold. So let's just zoom in and work with this thing. So you got land acquisition or whatever. So you can start with your analysis date, and over here you can put in the name of your project, or you can put in the address if you wanted to. If you did put an address over there, so let's say I put I don't know, maybe 94 Station Street, and once I've done that, if I click on View Map, it'll open a map and take me to that address over there. So that's just a quick overview of what it is and how you can actually get there. You can put in your analysis start date, whatever that date was that you're doing your analysis. Now, for ease of use and to be able to do a financial modeling, no matter what date you actually put in there, the start date would come in the first date of that month. And after that, the duration that you actually put in there, that's when your project will start, and based on that, your project would finish over here. So everything that you see in blue is the blue portion where, although there may be a formula somewhere, but it can be overridden. So long as it's blue text, it basically means that you can actually come in and override it. So in this feasibility, to make things easier, all I've done is I've said, okay, my project's starting on the 28th of April, and it automatically takes the start date as the first date of that month. And now my duration is 4 months. So starting from April, May, June, and July. So because it's taking the last day, so when the month that I actually finish it, it'll take the last day of that month. So my start date would be the 1st of April, and then the end date would be the last date of the month it is supposed to finish. Now, if I say 4 over here, it automatically goes there. But then town planning, I have to decide when I actually went into town planning, or when do I want to start town planning. So this date is a manual input. You can put in whatever time you want to put in, and then allow a duration for it. It'll automatically calculate the month finish for this. And then this is already dependent on you finishing your town planning. So you don't have to select this date. It automatically selects it for you. You just have to select the duration it is going to take for you to be able to get that zoning or get the building permit for this module. So again, it gets selected. It selects all the details and everything. And then you've got marketing and sales. Again, that is independent of you starting it whenever you would want to start it. However, just remember this one thing, that if over here you've got, let's say, first, you can actually double click on this thing and a calendar thing pops up. No two dates, no two stages can actually start on the same date or on the same month. The reason for that is when we do our budget over here, I've got this timeline actually gets populated automatically. And if I zoom out of this thing a little bit so you can see a bit more, it automatically gets populated, and it tells me that everything is stage start, and then we've got stage end. It tells me that my land acquisition stage starts here in period 0, ends in the 3rd month, which is actually the 4th month, as per my dates. And then my town planning starts immediately after, and it goes all the way towards the end of the project. And all this is populated dynamically through different formulas that I've used and put together in order to actually make it as accurate, make it totally accurate. But this has but I've got some warning signs built into this thing. So if you were to ever select a same date, so let's say if I selected 1st of May, or over here I can actually put in and come in and put in any date if I wanted to. But the moment these two dates go same, they'll go red, warning you that you can't have them starting the same month. If you can do that a month after or the same day, it won't make a lot of difference. But if you have them on the same month, the issue would arise um, with all the calculations that will follow after this, because if you've got two stages starting on the same month, there's only room for one stage in a cell. And that's the reason the calculations would go crazy, or the calculations won't be able to figure out when the construction stage is actually ending, and it's going to cause a problem. And that is the reason I've got this warning sign put in over there, so you can select what date is the date for the different date for it. So as soon as you've got two different dates over here, it'll automatically go it'll automatically stop the red warning, and you'll be able to see when your project starts, what is the end month of your project, and all different stages will get their start month and the end month dates from them. Now, all of this is fine. Now, I have built in a lag. So let's say you put in these estimates of what the durations are going to be for every stage of your project, and you're building a timeline, because and I'll show you how this relates to the budget allocation and everything in another video. But what this is talking about here is a lag that I want to put in between the building permit and construction start. So in here, I've allowed 3 months between when I start my building permit application and before I start my construction. And if I put in 2 over there, that means it's going to add 3 plus 2 to 5 and make it 5. So it's going to add 2 months of lag in there. But if you think you're accurate with your stuff, just simply make that 0, and it doesn't bother anybody. But remember that the moment you turn that 0, if there is a month where the month start date are landing on the same date. So in here, in my construction or in my marketing and sales or somewhere, I would just allow maybe 1, or go in there and change the date. If you override this, don't worry about it. This formula just goes away, and you can put in a manual date in there, no problem. So long as none of these come out red, because if they come out red, that means there's going to be an issue with the way the calculations work. So because this is not run by a database, it's all run by the spreadsheet. It's actually difficult to program all these things in there, but it's accurate. It's spot on. I've used it many times. I've tested it in so many different ways, and I've spent over 150 hours just developing this and checking everything. So it is 100% accurate. You don't have to worry about the accuracy of that thing. Just make sure that these details are correct. So that's how you fill out your schedule. You have to you can do it manually on a piece of paper, and you'll be fine, but you just have to understand how this section would work, and how your timeline would pan out as you do your project.